In 2008, I lost everything. My home, my relationship, my financial security. And I had 3 very, very young children watching me. The trust that I would look after them, that I would help them. And I kept it together every single day. And nobody came to help. Not because they didn't care, but I'll come back to that. Because first I want to talk about what was going on underneath the surface and why people like us find it almost impossible to ask for help, even when we're drowning. And I mean that literally. I mean drowning. You know, that year was what I now call a perfect storm. Bankruptcy, repossession, relationship breakdown, and 3 very young children that, of course, were relying on mum to take care of them. And this was all at once. And you know what the most painful part was? Yes, it was a combination of all of those things, but it was this. I didn't know how to ask for help. And on the surface, you know, that sounds simple, doesn't it? Just ask for help. But if it was that simple, we'd all do it, wouldn't we? So let me show you exactly what was going on beneath my behaviour. Because there are 4 things happening at once. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. So let's look at past conditioning. Somewhere along the line, you asked for help and it really didn't go well. Now think, if you're a child and you needed something from somebody who was your primary carer, maybe you were dismissed. Maybe you were told to get on with it. Be brave. Don't cry. Made to feel like a burden. Or even worse, ignored completely. In our nervous systems and your brain, which is incredibly good at keeping you safe, by the way, it made a decision. Right, we'll handle things on our own. And you know, that is not being weak. That's intelligence. In that moment, it worked. It protected you. Now this one's a big one for me. Learned self-reliance. The problem is, your brain is still running that same program decades later. And with this comes an emotional cost. And this is the bit people don't talk about enough. And you'll feel it. Something will happen and you get that tight chest or that sick feeling in your stomach. Then you start to spiral. And that's not you being dramatic. That's your nervous system saying, last time, this really didn't feel good. Be very careful. So then we go into withdrawal. Instead of reaching out, maybe you go quiet, or you distract yourself, keep yourself really, really busy, or you push it down and you carry on. And here's what nobody ever tells you. Without realising it, we teach people what we can handle. And if you always cope, people believe you're okay. Because what looks like strength from the outside is actually silence inside. I had this personal realisation. I'd spent years being the one who helped everyone else, and without being asked. And that's okay. I loved doing that. But when I was falling apart, I genuinely couldn't understand why no one was stepping in. But I do understand now, because hindsight is one of those incredible things. They didn't stay away because they didn't care. They didn't know how to step in because I didn't know how to let them in. You see, we become conditioned. And if you've always shown up for people who didn't know or just didn't show up in the same way back, your brain logs this as help isn't coming anyway. So why risk asking? Why risk that vulnerability, the exposure, the rejection for something you've already learned might not arrive? And so that voice inside says, I should be able to handle this. Other people have it so much worse. I don't even know what I need, so how do I ask? Or maybe I just don't want to be a problem. And that's not the truth. That's conditioning. Not asking for help doesn't mean that it's a personality flaw. It's a strategy. One that worked once. One that protected you. But that same strategy slowly starts isolating you. You don't have to tell your whole story. Just try to stop pretending you're fine. So I'm not going to tell you to go and have a big, vulnerable conversation. Just this. What's one small way you can let someone get a little bit closer today? For example, you could send a message instead of explaining everything in depth. Fancy a coffee? Do you want to pop round? Are you free? And when somebody asks you if you're okay, maybe try saying, actually, I'm having a bit of a day, instead of I'm fine. Or just not pretending. Earlier I said nobody came, and I meant it. But this is what I understand now. They weren't missing because they didn't love me. They were absent because I'd become so good at coping that nobody even knew that I needed them. I built a version of myself that said, I'm fine, so convincingly. You know what? Even I believed it. You don't have to reach breaking point to stop carrying everything on your own. And if you've been the strong one for a long time, maybe this is the moment that you let someone see you too. And also, let's teach others how to ask for help by setting examples. Now, if you know someone who's always the strong one, send this video over to them. And if you want to explore more behind the behaviour videos, you can find the link at the end of this one. Until next time, I'm Julie from the Coaching Den.